ahead on Sports Desk.
As of today, we have agreed as a group, we have a 7-to-1 vote in favor of expansion, and I'm happy to announce that San Antonio and Sacramento will be admitted into the Canadian Football League for the 1993 season.
Hi everybody, I'm Jim Van Horn. The meeting started this morning at 9 Eastern in Calgary. The CFL Board of Governors gathered to discuss what many perceived as a fait accompli, expansion to the United States. Groups from Sacramento, California and San Antonio, Texas presented their expansion bids to the 8 teams' representatives. Winnipeg is on record being against expansion, while Edmonton remained uncommitted this morning. When it was over this afternoon, the CFL entered a new era, expanding to the United States. Peter Watts has the story from Calgary.
About 3 o'clock local time, Commissioner Larry Smith made the informal announcement that expansion could go ahead.
We have a 7-to-1 vote in favor of expansion, and I'm happy to announce that San Antonio and Sacramento will be admitted into the Canadian Football League for the 1993 season.
The governors asked for assurances that the Canadian game would not be changed. San Antonio boss Larry Benson.
During each season, there shall not be more than 17 imports on active rosters of each member club. Now, if the new clubs accepted into the league, they must notify the Players Association of their acceptance of all the terms and conditions contained in the agreement. Joining me now from Edmonton, Alberta is Randy Ambrosie, a member of the Edmonton Eskimos and also a member of the CFL Players Association. Randy, what are your personal thoughts on this expansion?
I have a lot of mixed feelings, I guess. On one hand, you hope it's a step in the right direction and that it would add some new life to the Canadian Football League. And then there's a little bit of fear here. We're just wondering whether it'll fly, and if it wasn't to fly, what would be the net result of that? Would that ultimately be the end of the Canadian Football League?
As a Canadian playing in the CFL, how do you see the expansion affecting Canadian players? Because that's been the major topic of discussion for the past couple of days.
Yeah, and boy, I'll tell you, it's a hotbed right now of discussion, because I think there's a real fear that the Canadian element could be removed from the game, maybe not initially, but down the road, or at least watered down significantly, and that's a great concern. Let's face it, this game has been played with a great deal of passion by Canadian kids for many years, and I would hate to think that I'll be part of a league that will see the end of that.
Randy, the collective bargaining agreement between the players and the owners runs through the 1994 season. It ends at that time. Do you see the quota of Canadian players being reduced at the expiration of the agreement at that time?
Right now, I guess that's all up in the air, because if you read the newspapers, it's been suggested that that the league would like to do away with that portion of the collective bargaining agreement right now. That was an agreement that was negotiated in good faith by both parties, and it was our contention that we would be under the terms of, or play under the terms of that agreement for 2 more seasons. Beyond that, of course, who knows? It has been stated, and quite forcefully by the commissioner, that he believes that the era of the protection of the Canadian players is coming to an end, and I gathered from that it would be the league's position that they would want to do away with it absolutely. So who's to say 3-4 years down the road that there would be many Canadian kids actually playing this game.
Randy, thanks for your time. Let's hope things work out to your satisfaction and the rest of the Canadian players as well.
Thank you very much.
Mike OShea is in a very unique position. He's a linebacker from the Guelph Griffins playing in the East-West Shrine Bowl, one of only 2 Canadians invited to play in the game this year south of the border. He's a very good football player, good enough to play in either the CFL or the NFL. What does he think about expansion south of the border?
If the teams down south, San Antonio and Sacramento, if they can draw the fans and keep the team going, that's great. It'd be good for the CFL, I guess, monetarily. Canadian content-wise, I'm not too sure what they're going to do if they keep 160 Canadians in the league. It makes it harder, I guess, for a Canadian to crack a lineup.
Joining me now is our TSN football analyst, Leif Pettersen. What do you think? Are you surprised at the circumstances that evolved today?
Well, Jim, I'm not surprised at all what transpired today. In fact, the vote, 7 in favor, 1 against, does not surprise me in the least. Last Friday, I was told that Hugh Campbell was on the fence, but he would vote in favor, and Saskatchewan, Phil Kershaw, their group, they would vote in favor too. So no, it doesn't surprise me when you have the Larry Rickmans, the Bruce McNalls, the Bill Comries, and the Gleibermans, groups like that involved in the Canadian Football League. It was inevitable that they would expand somewhere, and in this case, it happens to be the United States.
So I get by that that you're happy that it's happening, that it's good for the league.
Well, I mean, I think you have to look at this in a positive vein. I mean, it has happened. It's going to take place. This spring we'll be covering games in San Antonio and Sacramento, which I'm certainly looking forward to. But I think on the positive side, you know, you're talking ownership groups that are looking above and beyond. They have to try and achieve new revenues to make the league viable, and certainly I think the league was stagnating, just staying with the same old 8 teams. People were getting tired of seeing certain clubs come into their cities 4 and 5 times a year. So from that light, yes, it is positive, and we have to take that approach.
I can't think you can say that it's positive, though, as far as the Canadian players are concerned. The quota problem is there, and it's going to continue to be there. Do you see the league eventually eliminating Canadian players in the Canadian Football League?
Jim, you know, I really talk about this with mixed emotions, obviously, because I was a Canadian who played for 8 years in this league. But, I mean, I have to be logical about it, too, and I would say this is certainly the beginning of the end for the Canadian player. Now, he certainly will have the opportunity to compete with American players for positions on one of these 10 teams, but quite frankly, I think in the short term there will be Canadians. In the long term, I think you'll see the gradual demise of the Canadian talent pool.
When you look at the Canadian League, it is so drastically different from the NFL. You look at San Antonio with the influence of Houston and Dallas coming in, Sacramento with the influence of the San Francisco 49ers. It seems to me that if they are going to be successful in their markets, it's going to come down to marketing, and that is something that has been a weakness in the CFL over the years. They have not marketed the game all that well.
Well, traditionally, each team's been kind of left to their own to do their own marketing, and the U.S. Group seem to be much more flamboyant in style and presence and so forth. So maybe, you know, Larry Benson in San Antonio and Fred Anderson in Sacramento will do a much more innovative job to market their new teams. I think there's a couple of things going in their favor, though. Number one is these two ownership groups have had professional football. They've run it before, so they know what's involved. It's not a new toy for them. And I think second of all, you look at a CFL season that's going to begin in July. Really, for all intents and purposes, these two new teams will have 2 months of no interference from college football, high school football, or professional football. So if they can start off with a bang, with some pizzazz, if Doug Flutie comes to town and Rocket Ismail comes to town, I mean, I think they have a really good chance to establish an initial fan base, and where it goes from there, I mean, is only hypothetical.